Ready?
No. Like if I didn't put it, I'm considering pyramids.
It has been over 7 months since I last posted anything at least nearly cubing related. What did I do all of that time? Well... And then by pure coincidence I got reminded that I have a cubing channel. So yeah, here's a comp overview. I didn't have any time to warm up for 2x2 because it was the first event and our train was like 5 minutes away from the 2x2 round, so I did some quite fun stuff like mess up EGs and miss one look, and spoiler, this is not the last time it's gonna happen. For example, here it was this EG1 case, but I did it wrong and it was gonna haunt me for the rest of the competition for some reason, but yeah, you get the point. The next event was 3x3, and the problem from 2x2 kind of continued on, so I struggled to concentrate and my hands were cold, which is a terrible combo if you want to get some good solves. So last competition, in this exact same venue, I did put down my first sub 9 average, so I was hoping to repeat that, but I counted 2 11s and a 9. Like a 9.0 and then 2 11s, so that got me a 10.7 average, I think, which still got me 7th place somehow, but...
Why is my cube so sweaty?
And I complained about my cube being sweaty. That happens a lot when you have competitions in winter, as your hands slowly start to unfreeze, and for me, they just start sweating. I didn't have a towel, so especially for UV, it just becomes like glass. I didn't practice purrings for a single second before this round. Like, I did practice 2x3, 2x2, and cube only. By the way, this is the first time I practiced cube, but we're gonna discuss that a bit later during this cube round. But I put down some bad times. I messed up the last layer cases, and I think I got a 7 average or something, which isn't very terrible, but this is what I'm used to.
The best event of the day.
Sag, wenn du bereit bist.
Nee, sag ich nicht.
Okay.
Okay. Jo.
18 seconds.
This cube went quite well, but I was hoping for a sub 8 average because this is quite bad, right? But it is good for me because it is still PR, and it's a good thing that I practiced cube, as I didn't get any other PRs that day, like except this 4.6 single and 8.0 average, so I'm happy with that. One-handed went quite well. I got a 21.9 average. I'm still chasing the sub 20, but I don't practice it that much, so it's okay. And here I just swapped friends with my cube. I mean, swapped cubes with my friend.
Das ist nicht mein Cube. Das bin ich nicht. Oh my god.
Florian.
GG.
So the delegate gave us both an extra, but the kid who judged me didn't really know how to judge, so he wrote the time down on the wrong field, which resulted in the delegate drawing an extra one for the last attempt, which made the scorecard look kind of funny. And also the delegate's handwriting is terrible. 4x4 was quite promising, as I ordered a new cube. I got a Moyu ASUV 7, double track if you're wondering. Speaking of which, I ordered it from Cubos, my sponsor, so here's a quick ad. This video is sponsored by Cubos, Europe's biggest and best cube store. Use the link in the description to get a 5% discount, thank you. Sub 5. But the problem is I ordered it kind of late, so it came on Friday before the competition, and I didn't have time to properly set it up and get used to it. So I had some lockups here and there, but it wasn't the main problem. The cube was sweaty, and I figured out it was the scrambler's hands. So I asked the delegate if he could check if the scrambler's hands are like not sweaty, like not in that way, but just ask the scramblers to dry their hands before scrambling. and it resulted in me getting a 44 and a 45, and the rest, when the cube was sweaty, it was 50s. Yeah, you can clearly see that. For 3x3 second round, I finally started warming up, and it was after the lunch break, I think. So, but I still put down at a counting 10, so it was at counting 10.1, and it resulted in a 9.8 average, which isn't terrible, as it is still sub 10, but I'm kind of wanting to have a sub 9 average, so that's far from that. And in the waiting area I found a heater, and I decided to use it to warm up my hands before the last solve, but I still got worst possible average with 10.8. So it all came down to 2x2 finals. It's the round that I was most nervous about, because I knew that I was really capable of getting podium or even winning, because podium was sub 3 and win was sub 2.4, which is basically a wide open door for me. But remember that case from earlier? Yeah, I mis-one-looked it and did it as an EG2 instead of EG1, and that made me DNF. Even though the timer didn't stop for the first time, I picked the cube up and tried to resolve it. And the nerves from that transferred onto the second solve, and I did manage to one-look it correctly, but look at this execution, how shaky it was. Now that put me in a really terrible situation, as the DNF could make another bad solve count, and that would ruin my chances for podium. Like if I got a +2 or if my cube slipped, then it would be basically game over. And I had a lot of 2x2 podium fails, and I wouldn't want another one. So I had to do one thing and to lock in. Yep.
Or like, I swear, if I didn't podium in 2x2, like that was terrible. It could, like the DNF could have been something better, but like if I didn't mess up like the first and the second solve because I've messed up the first, then I could have had a good average. But maybe it's still podium. Like if I didn't podium, I'm gonna sit in pyramids. Yeah, like that's it. There's still Pyra 3x3 and one-handed, so maybe something good. And it's cube, yeah.
Yeah, spoiler, I got podium and didn't have to sit on the pyraminx. After getting my first podium, I relaxed and didn't care at all about Cube and Pyraminx, which was maybe a mistake, and maybe I should have gotten another PR, but I got this Cube Scramble. I wouldn't say that I messed up any of these events, maybe Cube a bit, but I just didn't try, you know? There was nothing to mess up. For example, in Pyraminx I got a DNF there, and a 6 and a 9, and I don't know, it was a 7.9 average, I think, which is bad.
Yeah, so like I got the podium, right? But I will clone through the next events. So maybe I have to lock in on 3x3 because 3x3 is next. But yeah, let's see how it goes.
So it all came down to 3x3 finals, because I wouldn't want to go home without another sub 9 average. And last comp in this venue, again, I got the first sub 9 average and was in the finals as well. So I just focused, and it actually helped that I was tired, because I didn't have the nerves that I usually get in finals of 3x3. So I got an 8 to start with. And the next solve was going to be an 8, but I missed one turn while executing the R-perm PLL, and this happened. So at 10.8. And on the next solve I got another 8. This put me in a good situation, so I said this.
If I didn't plus do like the second one, then I would have 3 8s, but oh well, there's still 2 more solves left.
But despite the pressure, I was really confident for some reason, and I got a 9.2, which put me on a good pace to sub 9 average, but the last solve would decide everything. It could either go one way or the other way. The end of the competition kind of disappointed me, but you know what doesn't disappoint? Qboss. They have a winter sale right now, so I already mentioned it, but use the link in the description to get a 5% discount. I'm planning to make more content from now on, so subscribe and thanks for watching.